This is Dan of Vagabond Buddha. I'm in Aveiro, Portugal. Just finished my run. One day, the grace will come to you, and you'll understand that you're something much more permanent and beautiful than what your mind thinks, than your personality, than the dialogue that's running in your head all the time. One day you'll have that grace. You'll feel an opening. You'll feel that you have no beginning or end, or that you are the undefined, that you're that you are the one consciousness, and that your mind is a wave that rides, is an insignificant, small, petty wave that rides through that consciousness, or floats along the surface, or however you say it, and you'll feel the joy flood into your body, and you'll feel the end of suffering that many talk about. And but if you're like some people, your mind will test you from time to time, and you'll wake up in a thought, and you'll pay attention to it as if it's real, and if it's really a problem, and it'll be something like this. What happened? Where did it go? Where did the grace of joy go? Why is my mind back creating pain for me? Why did it stop? How do I get it back? And that indeed has happened to me many times. I would say more in the first year or two after the grace came to me. But nonetheless, it will be received. It will be paid attention to as if it is true, when it is nothing but a lie that you've believed into existence. The question will sound authentic. You'll feel pain, and you'll ask the question, why has the pain come to me? What have I done? How do I get the joy back? And it might be 30 seconds after you feel the joy. It might be 24 hours. It could be a week. There's no rules. The mind is the mind sees itself as, actually the mind doesn't see itself, and I don't want to go into that too much now. You'll have your own sense of it when the grace comes, but the mind wants attention from grace, and so it's able to posit interesting questions like, where did grace go? And of course that's a question the grace that the mind will answer, and it will say, I don't know what happened, I don't know how to get back, it doesn't work anymore, maybe none of it was real, maybe I imagined it. So the mind has thoughts. Grace just is. So when the mind has a thought, floats by, and you listen to it, and you populate it as if it's true, you own it, you with all that you are, pay deep attention to it so that there is only what the mind thinks. Everything else is, there's no attention paid to it. You have shunned the grace because your perception ends at the edge of your mind. It doesn't go off into Graceland. And so the mind answers its own question. I'm lost, I can't get back. You're off and running. But if you're like me, you'll find the grace. The grace will come to you again. And you'll be populated by an end of suffering, by the warmth, by the open joy of just plain living in your life. And so my warning, my knowledge that for you is to know about this before it happens, so you can understand that your mind is asking for full attention when it asks the question, and that the question itself is what's ended your access to freedom from suffering. And in fact, it's the same question that you were asking before the grace came the first time. It's the same question, it's the same space. You're standing in a space you were in before grace first happened. And it feels so real to you because you've been there. It's like going home or something. It's who you've been much of your life. It's the friend you grew up with, your mind that you believed without question. And so it feels like home. And the pain returns as the question goes unanswered. Just like before, you'll have a faint memory that if you choose to believe the question into truth instead of seeing it for what it is, you're putting the truth that you're believing is a way of being that you were before the grace entered you. And so if you can just see the mind when it does this, if you can just see that it's forming a thought and that it creates an emotion in you and brings you to the belief that grace has left you, is the fear of that is a creation of pain, and it's a confirmation of the belief, the pain that runs through your body when you believe that grace has left you. That's the mind's way of operating. It operates through fear. If it can, its intention is, I suspect, I don't know, and it doesn't matter if what I say is true or false. It won't help you at all. But it seems maybe the mind believes, it doesn't know it believes anything, but it seems to operate according to a principle that if it can attach emotions, good or bad, to thoughts, that it can move you in a direction that you've been procrastinating, say, or that you know you need to go. And so but the sad truth is that when you're aware of the grace, when the grace has visited you and you can be in the grace, the material dance doesn't, the material dance, the authentic dance that you do, the authentic part of the actions you take in your life that have a meaningful, self-affirming purpose, all of those actions continue. There might be actions that fall away that over time, not maybe immediately, but where they don't feed you in a meaningful way anymore, and those will drop away potentially. But when you are living in the grace, you don't need the fear. You'll find that you are propelled. You are in a dance with life that's propelled only by the dance alone. There's no fear of what will happen if you don't dance. There's no the mind technique of control with giving you fear and negative emotions, the deadly sins, if you would like. The fear, you're propelled from goodness without purpose. There's no fear or hate or anger necessary to move you in life's purpose. And so the point of that is that you don't need to fear the grace when it comes, and believe that you'll somehow become less effective in your life. In truth, you'll be more effective because the lack of concentration on the fear that came with what the mind thought that normally occurred when you believed you began and ended at the edge of your mind. That fear no longer possesses you. The mind will think the thoughts, and there'll be like a shadow of a fear. You'll remember the fear the mind's trying to create, but it won't create it. And you'll move forward in your life gracefully and with grace, without any fear of or belief in the fear that used to motivate you to move in north, south, east, or west. And the choices that you make that are made without that deep attachment of emotion feel more authentic. They feel more natural. They feel less contrived. They feel less manipulative. They feel authentically purposeful. And so fear of grace is as illogical as all the other fears. The idea that you forgot the grace is itself, the thought that something happened to the grace is just another thought that should float by once you know about the grace. And if you do get possessed again with a mind that doesn't know it, that can't, where you don't feel the joy of living, there's no reason to get upset or fearful about that. Just let that thought be with all the others, and the grace will return to you, because you haven't bought into the fear. You haven't bought into the fear that you used to live in before the grace first came. And that's ultimately the only thing that's the thing that trapped you in in a stream of beliefs with, and it's a thing that will try to pull you back. And so let it be, and Grace will be back soon. All right, Dan of Vagabond Buddha, thanks for listening. Have a great day. Thanks for being here.